Day 4. Brent with Lykins Motorsports working on a 289. Our oil came. I got 6 quarts in it and primed the pump. Got 80 psi on the gauge, and we didn't flood the heads. And we got oil to dripping off all the rocker arms. So we are in good shape. Quick test is after you prime, immediately after you prime, you should not be able to push the rocker or the plungers down in the lifters with your hand. If they do that immediately after oil pressure, then something is not right. It's possibly that your oil or that your lifters are not staying pumped up for some reason. They're bleeding off inside or something like that. So we do not have any of that. I primed, and as I was priming, I was taking and pushing on the rocker arm to try to depress the plunger, and we didn't get any of that. So at this point in time, intake gaskets are going to go on, and our intake is going to go on. So I used just a light coat of silicone on the cylinder head, and then a light coat on top of the gasket before the intake sits on. And our intake manifold is on. I'm going to go over the paint again. Joe Crane painted that so it wouldn't flash up in shipping or anything. And now we got our naked bolt heads and our gasket sticking out and all that stuff. So I'll hit that with the same paint that I used to paint the rest of the engine. I ran out. Believe it or not, it took 2 cans of paint to paint this whole thing, including generator bracket, pulley, generator arm, coil bracket, all that stuff. So we will get that done hopefully tomorrow when FedEx brings the paint. We are plugging along. So that is about it for today. Well, I didn't want to bore you with some of the other details, but there's nothing really exciting about bypass hoses and that sort of thing. So paint came in. I gave the intake a nice coat of paint. Got all of our accessories mocked up. The valve covers go on with a little bit thicker valve cover gasket. I'm waiting on 2 breathers to show up, and I can finish that up. This is our nicely remanufactured factory distributor. It's got a Protronics kit in it. It's been recurved to spec, my spec, with a little bit quicker ignition curve than normal. New thermostat housing. I'm not sure what Nori will do with that. At the very least, it'll need a thermostat behind it because we don't use thermostats on the dyno. Bypass hose, generator bracket. This is my first time with a generator. I think this is actually an alternator made to look like a generator. It's got all the factory Ford look and everything. So I'm waiting on this bolt to come in. I actually found a factory OEM bolt to go there. What else? Oh, waiting on water pump pulley bolts, the real ones. Was able to use some AMK bolts for the alternator or the generator bracket 2-cylinder head mounting. This is a Le Mans Bowl Holley Carburetor done by Drew Pojednik, Air Fuel Spark. Great restoration. Looks really nice up here. So I'm being sneaky. There were no super suckers in 1964, and most of these engines will do quite well with a tapered carb spacer. Canton makes a 1-inch tapered phenolic spacer, so it looks period correct, but hopefully it'll gain us a few mule power later on down the road. We got some Taylor repop spark plug wires and some Autolite spark plugs. I decided not to use timing tape. Nori and I kind of tossed that around, but the ones that you can get for this size balancer that are anywhere near black have this neon green looking lettering. So what I did was I used it. I verified top dead center again, and then I used the timing tape to mark 34, 36, and 38 degrees total on the balancer. So based on my experience in the past, I think we're going to be somewhere in there. And when Nori checks the timing in the car, he can check it total timing since the distributor's been recurved and everything. So I'm waiting on this bolt, these bolts, waiting on a belt. I've got, don't know exactly what size V-belt I'm going to use, so I ordered 3 or 4 different sizes to get that on there. But we are kicking chicken. Hopefully we'll have her done this following week, and maybe dyno the next time or the next week after that. We'll see. Telling Nori, I said, I think this is probably one of the nicest looking engines that I've put together. It's beautiful, and it looks like it came out of 1964. All right, guys. COVID zaps my strength and my energy, so I worked for a few hours this morning and just wanted to finish. Oh, dipstick. Repop dipstick, and the blade is made out of some kind of spring steel. It's pretty stiff. It takes some finagling to get in and out, but got that in there. But thanks for watching, and thanks for following along on this build. We got it knocked out fairly quickly after all the parts were here. It's all Nori's boxes that we've had stored up. But thanks for hanging around. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, so that you don't miss out on the dyno session of this. We're hoping for at least 75 horsepower. Right, Nori? All right. We'll make it. I promise. All right, guys. Have a good weekend, and I'll speak to you soon.